Well, hello everybody. It's me, Larry Kirshner again, and we're going to talk today about some of the things that you might be able to do to really increase revenue at your escape room, at your haunted house, or whatever business you're running. And we're going to talk about that a little bit as we sit here in the pinball room. And when I started this business, St. Louis Escape right here, this room right here actually was the entrance to a haunted house that I got rid of. So there was a haunted house where this mini golf is. Now you can see the power's turned on, so you don't see how cool the mini golf is unless I turn off the overhead lights. But there was a haunted house back here, okay? And there was a facade to it, like right here. It was on the other side of where that wall is. And you know what I did was, when I acquired this building, of course I turned the downstairs into a shop, but we built this escape room and that one. These were the only escape rooms we had. This one was the Mummy, and the other one was the Cellar. We still have the Cellar, and this one's the Mummy. But now the Mummy's gone, and now this is the Jurassic Island escape room. So this lobby was pretty much as it is now, okay? And we had the two escape rooms. And we really struggled with the escape rooms. They didn't really make a lot of money. So I started thinking to myself, we need, like, I've already built two, we need to go all in. We need to, like, you know, keep ramping this up. So we decided to add a third escape room, and it went right here where the Wonderful Wizard of Oz was. And this was actually the haunted, no, this was the subway. And then we added a fourth room, which is right here where this haunted mansion is, the new haunted mansion escape room. And this was where the queue line was for the haunted house. It was right there. So then I came up with the clever ideas. They come up the stairs. See, that's why there's a door there. If you're coming to the escape room, went this way. If you're going to the haunted house, you'd keep going straight. And there was a wall here, right here. And it went all the way down, and it hugged the actual brick wall. And it would come all the way down here, okay? And then we get to here, and they would turn this direction, go there, and go into the haunted house. And so when I had the haunted mansion built, it took out a corner of the haunted mansion. So to give you a better, or the Silo X haunted house. So if this was the Silo X haunted house, let's say this was the front, to build the haunted mansion escape, I had to take out a little small piece of it. And then we built the pirate escape, and it went right behind it. So the haunted house entrance stayed the same, and they went like this, and then it went around this whole section here, because this was the pirate and this was the haunted mansion. And then that was what was left. And then I decided to build the Dracula, and the Dracula went right in here. So I literally figured out a way for them to, now this would be the entrance, and then the haunted house would now be half as big as it was before. I'm sorry if you're staring at that Rubik's Cube. And then we said, well, we're gonna keep the haunted house, but we're gonna add the Dracula escape room. And then I was like, you know, this is getting ridiculous. We keep chewing this thing down lower and lower and lower, and we just need to get rid of it. So that's what we did. I sold it. I put it up for sale. There was a big video, and it got thousands of views. I don't even know how many it was, but it was a lot. And it was on Facebook. And it was more props than the eye could see. And one person came in and bought all the props for about $85,000, $90,000. And then we sold the actual haunted house for about $35,000, $40,000. And so I sold the haunted house for about $130,000. Okay, I operated that haunted house as a secondary haunt to the darkness. So we were trying to get $10 extra for it, and people wouldn't pay. So I think we dumped it down to $5. But either way, I can tell you exactly how much money that haunted house made. It made about, I want to say that it made about $70,000 or $80,000 a year. That was gross. And then after you paid the actors and everything else, I think that we made about let's just say $50,000. Okay. And then you start taking out tax and everything else. Realistically, you know, it was making about $30,000 a year. Okay. So here's what I can tell you. The mini golf at the very beginning, I mean, it was doing that much every month. Okay. Are you getting the picture? It was doing that much every month. So in other words, what I was netting from the haunted house, which required tons of actors, it was a logistics nightmare. They had to exit. They went out of the building and came back around the front. And then sometimes you would operate the darkness, and then sometimes they would go to this one first, and we'd close the darkness. Oh, wait a minute, you didn't go through the darkness. It was just a logistics nightmare. So we got rid of it, and we built Frankenstein and Dracula. So essentially what replaced, let's talk about this. What replaced the haunted house that was up here, which was called Silo X? A pinball game room. The Haunted Mansion Escape, Wizard of Oz, Pirate Escape, Frankenstein, a mini golf, and Dracula. This facility, we just acquired a liquor license, so we will be making another renovation to our pinball room, because now we're going to be selling alcohol, and we're getting ready to build our 8th escape room. Then we're tapped out, and so now I'm looking at expanding this building and making it another 1,500 square foot bigger, and then maybe possibly expanding into TerraVision. So do you know what will be the next to go? TerraVisions, and I'll build a new exit onto the darkness, so it'll be different. I'm thinking it's going to be like a photo experience, a selfie experience, and then I can take a part of TerraVisions and incorporate it into here. So I'm thinking that I could pick up maybe 4,000 more square feet. There's this thing that I want to buy, and they were at Transworld. It was called Pixel, and it's where you jump around on different colors and you play this game. I want to buy that, and I want to theme it with blacklight artwork and everything, and I think it'll be fantastic. And so I really think that is going to be a big money maker. I want to do the pinball room bigger, and maybe possibly add one more escape. Who knows? Okay. But you know what else I'd be able to pick up? Access to my retail store. And I could tweak that a little bit and offer retro stuff like Back to the Future or Star Wars, or, you know, just collectibles from Caddyshack, who knows, whatever, right? And so I can start picking up some of that stuff and selling it, and maybe adding on our retail store and really making a huge event here that can go on every week. So right now, when we started the escape room, we had the 2 escape rooms. We weren't, I don't know if we were doing 20,000 a month. Between the advertising, paying the labor, and I had to put in a lot of air conditioning and heat and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, we were definitely losing a ton of money. I mean, that wasn't even a question. We were losing money hand over fist. But I just decided to double down, okay? And you know, when you talk about like not trying to get into politics, but Trump, right? When you cross him, he'll double down, right? And actually, that's what I like about him, because when you're negotiating with China to try to make a new trade deal, China will go after, depending on what the president is, Republican or Democrat, go after his voters, their voters, based on. And so in Trump's case, China went after farmers. So Trump doubled down and said, Okay, well, we'll just throw tariffs on Chinese goods and we'll give the money to the farmers. Okay, what's next? I love that. I thought that was great. But not trying to get into a political thing. I'm just like, I know that everybody always talks about he doubles down, triples down, but that's what I did. I doubled down on the escape rooms. It was losing money, but I decided I'm going to double down on it. And so we built a third one, which was the Haunted Hotel. And I think our revenue really didn't change that much. I mean, maybe we would do on a good month, $25,000 to $35,000. And then we added a fourth one. It didn't change much. Maybe we were doing anywhere from the high 20s to the low 40s. And I remember one month, it was in October, and then of course in March when Entrepreneurial came, I think we got into the 60s. But one of the big things that I did that really was a game changer was add all these pinball machines. Because I wanted to give people an experience while they were here. And this is where I started to develop a understanding that even a haunted house is not really about scaring people anymore. I mean, it is because it's a haunted house, but it's really more about the experience because people have these things called phones and they want to have experiences because they want to capture them on their phone. They want to make reels, they want to make TikToks, they want to be places where they can take a lot of photos. One of the most popular attractions today is building these Halloween themed pop-up bars. And they also do them for Christmas and some other things as well. But Halloween, they're going all out. They're basically just getting a field and they're putting a bunch of photo ops everywhere and some lights overhead, pumpkins, and they're selling a lot of alcohol. And they're making, millions of dollars doing nothing but creating photo experiences where you can kind of go through and you can take a lot of pictures of a lot of cool stuff. And a lot of vendors have really benefited from these types of events because they're selling like big monsters, big figures, and they're just kind of sort of out there for a photo experience for nothing more than to draw people in to experience it on a date or with their friends or family or whatever, and they're drinking and they're buying kettle corn and things like that while they're taking photos and making reels everywhere. Okay, now think about that for a second. So think about your haunted house and think about like, what if I took televisions away, would anyone care? Would my customers care? The haunted house just got a little shorter. Well, what if I did a big corridor where there's like a pumpkin roof and there's like 1,000 pumpkins carved in the roof and you can literally walk underneath them. And then on the right side and the left side is monsters and cool monsters to take pictures of and, and they could walk through that and take photos. Would that serve me better than TerraVisions? The Clown 3D Haunt? I'm going to go with yes. And I'm going to go with yes for multiple reasons. Number one, I think I can grow my Instagram a lot faster because people would be making reels and tagging me like crazy. And then everywhere in there I can have, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok or whatever. And just so you know, the darkness, our haunts here, we're in little old St. Louis. As far as I know, we have the second most Instagram followed haunt in the nation. We have 34,000 at the date of this recording, and we're growing. My goal is to hit 50,000 by the end of Halloween. 50,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but it's hard to get Instagram followers. So that's a lot. I only know of one haunt that has more than us, and they're in Los Angeles. Okay, and we're in little old St. Louis. I also believe we are the most followed haunted house on TikTok. As of recording this date, we're almost up to 760,000 TikTok followers. Think about that. And on our YouTube page, we don't have a lot of subscribers because most people don't get a lot of subscribers. But on YouTube, we have about 7,000, but we really haven't focused on trying to grow the subscriber base. But we have almost 5 million views on our videos, and that's pretty good, okay? So we're doing really good on social media. We have a lot of Facebook followers. Between them all, I mean, Scarefest, Lamp, Creepy World Darkness, and St. Louis Escape, I would say that we probably have 300,000, okay? Another asset to have is to have a lot of email addresses or a lot of phone numbers, because you can text them promo codes and things. You also can use the emails, not just for mass emailing, but you can use them to create Facebook marketing groups with the emails. Then you can target people who are the most likely to buy a ticket. So that is, we're going to talk about that in a second, because that's another way to really increase your revenue. But to stay on this story, I need to reel it back in. I doubled down, I tripled down on this escape room business. And the reason why taking TerraVisions out would greatly benefit the darkness even is because the darkness now, if I can connect the two buildings, which is probably going to cost, a lot of money, but will it be worth it? I did the numbers. The numbers say yes. Okay. And now I talked a little bit about doing a seminar called Adding Machine. When it don't add up, get an adding machine out and do the numbers. So that's what I did. How much would it cost me to connect the two buildings and the little wedge that's in the back? That would get me connected to the building where TerraVision's at, and then I could add more attractions and I could redo the TerraVision section. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did here. Did it pay off? Yes, it did, because the upgraded haunted house was netting me about $80,000 and grossing me, netting me, I should say, netting the company maybe $25,000, $30,000. The escape room, without the liquor license, without the 8th escape room that we're building, without the building and maybe adding the pixel game, we're closing in on $2 million. This business has been fantastic. So can we grow this business? One of the most common things that I'm asked about escape rooms is how often should you change them? How often should you redo them? Well, the answer is never. Why would you ever redo them? Because when you add up how many people can play them and how many people are in your city, it would take you a whole entire lifetime to get everybody through it. So you don't change them. What you do is you keep growing the business. So when you look at my escape room business, it started with 2 escapes and an add-on haunt. Now it's 7 escapes, a mini golf, and a pinball room, and now I'm going to have alcohol. So by adding the alcohol, I will be able to do a lot more company parties. I will be able to sell alcohol, just in general. And alcohol has about an 80% markup. So there's going to be a lot of great things that come from this. And then as I figure out how to connect the two buildings together, which is now my top priority, once I get that space, it'll initially only add 1,500 square foot to the escape room. I could move that pinball room in there. I could build the pixel game that we talked about. But bigger plans would be to take some of the TerraVision space and incorporate it into the year-round business and be able to connect the gift store to this. That could potentially grow this business from 1.6, 1.7 to 2.3, 2.4 million a year. And that's before you add in the haunted house. So when we talk about growing your business, and I know a lot of people hate Donald Trump, okay? Because every time that he's attacked or insulted, he's going to insult right back. People say, oh, he should just ignore them. I mean, that's not the way his nature is. His nature is to win every time, okay? And people hate people like that. But when you run your own business, that's the mentality you're going to have. I'm sorry. But you've got to be willing to double down, triple down, okay? And when the chips are down, you got to go all in. You just got to push, okay? When you're playing poker, You can keep getting blinded off, waiting for, aces, or you can start being a bully. You have enough chips to bully people, and you push those chips in. I dare you to call me and start picking up some blinds, okay? And that's how you win poker. That's how you win. You can't wait around for aces, okay? You've got to take chances. You've got to bully people, okay? At the poker table, you will never win if you don't learn how to be a bully. That's how poker players get rich, okay? They push a lot of chips in and they push you right out of the hand with nothing. But when it comes to running this escape room, for example, I wasn't doing well. I was not making money, but I doubled down because I was figuring it out on the go. Now you can watch a video like this, and we're trying to help you learn from our mistakes. And that's what I don't get about some of the people in the haunted house industry is the people that offer the most or offer the most information or offer you their opinion are the ones who get criticized the most. Well, what are you doing? You got a big mouth. You like to run your mouth. You like to insult people. You like to put them down, okay, because you don't like their opinion. Well, then do your own video. Go out there and show us. What do you got? Okay? I'm not trying to boast and brag. I'm trying to help people. So that's part one to this video. Is you've got to be willing to try something new, try something different. You gotta not get stuck in a rut, and you gotta just go with the times. And our haunts have changed drastically, including Creepy World, to be more experience oriented, to be more photo friendly, where people can come and use their cameras and take photos. That's why we added the pumpkin patch. That's why we added a midway with a lot of big monsters from Unit 70, so people can take pictures. This is the wave of the future. But if you're going to grow your business and you're going to take some leaps, you got to get out of the train of thought that it's all about monsters, because it's not. Because at the end of the day, if you like monsters, you'll be able to buy more monsters if you run your business like a business. That's the bottom line. So people want to know, well, Larry, how did you get so many cool monsters in your haunted house? Well, let me tell you, I bought them. Okay? This ain't rocket science here. I wrote a check and I purchased them. And then they were really hard to get into a haunted house. In many cases, you have to cut them up, put them in, re-weld them. Yeah, costs a lot of money, takes a lot of effort, but at the end of the day, that's what it takes. And you know what, this mini golf here, and we can kind of look at it, all the artwork from that corner to here to there to there was all changed. Literally, I have artwork for sale and I will sell it, but all that artwork, 14 feet high, was completely taken off the wall and changed, because the concept of this golf just kept changing over and over again till I finally figured out what actually works. Okay, what is the story here? What are we trying to tell? When I first built it, I didn't have a clue, and then it started basically explaining what is it supposed to look like. So we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to change the artwork. All the artwork back here was changed. All new. We've changed the artwork in here, and we've changed the mini golf multiple times because we're just trying to feel our way through it and figure it out. And that is the biggest key for you to be successful, is to be able to change, to be able to adapt. And if you're running a haunted house, you got to be willing to accept that. And I have to use an example here. I have a friend. I only have only one person that I know likes me. I think he likes me. Dwayne Sanburn from 13th Gate. Now, I'm not trying to take credit for this. He is an amazing haunt. I've learned a lot from him. And in fact, when I got in the escape room business, I said, hey, Dwayne, you're doing these escape room things, right? And he said, yes. And I said, do you mind if I come and check out your escape rooms? He allowed me to go into his escape rooms, film them. He allowed me to ask any question I wanted. He was very helpful because he has no plans of opening an escape room in St. Louis. He does not care. And he feels pretty confident that I'm not going to try to open an escape room in Baton Rouge, which I'm not. But yes, it's good to have friends, and they will help you. And Dwayne definitely helped me. But I will tell you, because this is true, I would go through his haunt, and I said to him, at least 3-4 years in a row, and he knows this is true. I said to him at least 3 to 4 years in a row, dude, take out a big section of the 13th gate. No one will even know the difference because the thing is over 50,000 square feet long. Take out a big chunk at the end and build you a retail store. You know, because he was all about the haunt too, because he loves Halloween. Of course. Every haunter, when they got started, was thinking, oh, you got to make them longer. I remember people like trying to vie for the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest haunt. You don't see anybody trying to vie for the world's longest haunt anymore. Okay? They're trying to build experiences. Now, Dwayne, I know this because I was just there. He did, I'm not saying he took my idea, but eventually, you know, he came to the realization that that might actually help his business. So he's doing what many other people are doing. They're making their haunt a little smaller, and they're building in more experiences that also could benefit them financially. So now, 13th Gate, which, by the way, I went and seen it, and if you haven't watched the video, it's on this channel, a behind-the-scenes tour with 13th Gate. Watch it here on the Hauntworld channel. It's not hard to find. And we also did a video on his escape rooms. His escape rooms are the best in the United States. I mean, I haven't seen them all, but I can't imagine that there's one better. His haunted house is disgusting. I mean, it's disgustingly good. So in no way am I trying to say that, but you know, me and Dwayne are friends, so we talk. And I literally told him 100 times, like, no one will notice that your haunt is shorter. Build a retail store at the exit. So I know, because I was there, that he's doing just that. I'm not saying he's doing it because I told him to. He's just doing it because I think he's understanding. And by the way, he understood before I ever did, because he built escape rooms. He was one of the first haunts. He might have been the first haunt to build escape rooms, and it really paid off for him. So if anything, you know, I'm following in his footsteps. But I have to say, though, that I did pound on him for literally the last 3 years. Dwayne, nobody will even know. Just take out the last 5,000 square feet. I don't know how much he took out, but he did take out part of his haunt. He's building a big retail store, and I think his customers are going to love that. I really think they're going to love that. So this is very important for you to take away, okay? That you have to be willing to adapt and change and understand it's not about what you want. It's about what does your customers want. Where are people's minds today when they're going to plunk down $30, $40 to go to your haunted attraction? I will tell you this, they want to come away with a bunch of photos. They want to come away with memories. And a traditional haunted house, you can't do that because there's nothing to take a photo of. So there you go. There's a tip for today. And I wanted to make this video because I will be in Las Vegas. I will not be uploading any videos while I'm in Las Vegas, but when I get back from Vegas, I'll be uploading some videos that I'm going to make out there. I do plan on doing some other videos. I maybe will go to Monsterpalooza. I'm thinking that I'm going to be going to see some haunts in Chicago and Detroit. And if you would like us to come to your haunt in Detroit or Chicago, just literally email me at info@scarefest.com and we'll set that up. I'm also going to go to the Christmas Story House. I really want to go there. So I'm going to make some videos of those places. I want to put them on on this Hauntworld channel, but I'm also going to be uploading tons of videos to my Scarefest channel because I want to stay engaged with our customers all summer long. So I'm going to be making these videos because people think, oh, Larry, you're trying to be a YouTuber. No, I'm actually making content also at the same time for the my Scarefest YouTube channel. Now those videos you make and you can upload them to YouTube, but you also could upload the same exact video to Facebook. Think about it. I would keep those videos a little shorter, a little sweeter, but do me a favor, go over to Scarefest YouTube page for my haunted houses. Just type in Scarefest like STL or something, you'll pop it up, and you'll see a couple videos that I've already done. And I think, hey Josh, I think that people are gonna really like this, and I think it's gonna be great for our business to stay connected with people. So here's a couple more things that I want to tell you about how to really improve the revenue at your haunted attraction. And I'm not going to beat on this for an eternity, but ticketing. It's so awful that haunted house owners don't take the time to look into better options. On my escape room, I used a company called Exola, and I'm gonna admit they had a great service. It was actually better than Bookio, but when they changed it to 6% of sales, and they tried to convince me with the lies that, oh, but we actually will help you get more book. No, you don't. No, you don't. I do the advertising. We have the escape room that people want to play. We're sending people to the booking page. You're not sending anybody to us. Like, don't give me that nonsense. So I was willing to pay more to use Exola when it was $199 a month. But when they switched to 6%, and it's not going to happen. So I went back to Bookio. We pay $1,200, $1,300 a year. If I was using Exola, I'd be paying over $100,000. It's insane. These people are insane. But whenever it comes to ticketing, that one's like so no-brainer that I hope no one's using Exola. Like when I say no one, I hope no one is using Exola because you're just donating your money. Yeah, they have a little bit better site than Bookio, but I'm paying $1,200, $1,400 opposed to paying $100,000. This is a no-brainer. When it comes to ticketing, there's really only 2 ticketing companies that have a lot of features, and Fear Ticket is the one that has the most. And even the other ticketing company, which I'm not going to tell you which one it is because I'm not going to promote them, because man, they are all over the haunted house industry. Lots of salespeople buying you free drinks and dinner and renting whole places at IAPA and just whining and dining. Okay, but they are, in my opinion, copying features off Fear Ticket. So we're leading on the feature side, and they're copying. The sad part is the other ticketing companies are not updating because some of these ticketing companies are just salespeople using a white label service. They have no ability whatsoever to change or upgrade the service. And they're offering like $20,000 to re-sign. But if you just use a calculator and you figure out especially just with the features alone built into Fear Ticket that actually help you sell tens of thousands of dollars in additional revenue. I know one haunt owner that did over $120,000 more revenue from the features on Fear Ticket. You got to get out of this mindset that somebody buys you a steak dinner, you owe them something. You owe them nothing. Do you know who you owe something to? Your business and the people who work for it, that you got to make money so you can pay them bills, because the bills never stop. I have tons of bills, and I just keep thinking, man, when is my bank account going up? Because all the money just keeps going to bills. Well, it keeps going to bills because you keep growing. And when you keep growing, you keep spending all of your money. And you can't grow anymore if you're not bringing in the money. So you got to try to find every single crack and crevice where you can increase the revenue so that you have the ability to grow the business. In the case of ticketing, by me using Fear Ticket, and I used to use interactive ticketing, so I will say their ticketing service is nowhere near close to Fear Ticket. It's not even half as good. I mean, it could be maybe a quarter as good, okay? It's not in the same stratosphere, and Fear Ticket's cheaper. That's the funny part. But people still use it because they bought you a steak dinner 5 years ago, or you're just in that mode of you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I'm using this term because you guys have to learn this, okay? You can't be afraid to make a move or a change if it's going to drastically improve your business. So I know it sounds scary to just up and move and change, like say ticketing companies, or say you were working with a digital marketing company and you're afraid that if I don't use them again, maybe I will lose business. You can't be. You got to just do what is in the best interest of your business long term. Your best interest is to switch to Fear Ticket because there's features that literally give you the ability to engage with your customers to make hundreds of thousands of dollars more, especially over so many years it wouldn't even be funny. So the $20,000 that somebody offered you from another ticketing company to sign a 5-year agreement, do you know what kind of agreements Fear Ticket has? Zero. There is no signing agreements because once you use it, you'll never use anything else. I mean, that's how I think all ticketing companies should be. When you don't put new features on the table and somebody else does, I'm leaving. When Plymouth refused to make a wing car for Richard Petty, he left. He went to Ford. So you know what Plymouth did? They said, oh, I guess we'll build a wing car, and that's where the Superbird came from. He wanted to drive the Dodge Daytona. Plymouth said, no, you can't do that. And so he said, well, then I'm leaving. And when you sign a 5-year agreement with a ticketing company, you're literally at their mercy. Unless you just tell them, sue me then, I'm leaving, I'm out of here because your service is terrible and it doesn't help me, it doesn't help my competitors making tens of thousands of dollars more because they're using Fear Ticket, so I got to get out of this deal. Look, I wouldn't sign an agreement with any ticketing company. I'd be like, well, we'll use you for 1 year and we'll reevaluate. With technology, you should be reevaluating every year, okay? And don't be afraid to take that jump. Moving off of ticketing, well, actually staying on it, when we talk about increasing revenue, the ticketing companies that charge your customers, now I know HauntPay does this, I think they do, if I'm wrong, correct me, but they charge your customer a service fee. Well, with Fear Ticket, you can charge your customers a service fee. That means customers are used to paying service fees, and let's say you're afraid to go over $30 a ticket. Okay, then keep it at $30 a ticket and charge your customers a $2 service fee. So every time you sell a ticket, you make another $2. We made over $100,000 in service fees. Why would I let HauntPay take that? That's just stupidity, okay? You know, what are you doing to earn that? Nothing. So I will keep that money. Thank you very little. You know, the other thing is, when you talk about technology, like Fear Ticket is already developing AI technology, and they have this thing called a chat box now, and that chat box can learn and start answering people's questions about buying tickets. These are great things, and these are all being incorporated into Fear Ticket. The ability for people to decide at the last minute when they're in line that I want an actual speed pass, and being able to do that without actually going to the box office, that's worth its weight in gold. There's so many features being added to Fear Ticket that we have to start keeping them secret, because the other one ticketing company in particular will try to copy it because they're afraid to lose business to Fear Ticket. They keep trying to copy the features. So that's why you want to use Fear Ticket, because from now on, we're going to put the features in. They won't have time to add them. But with Fear Ticket, you'll just keep getting more ways to make more money, because you have a very small window to make that money. So you want to try to get as much as you can so you can expand and grow your business. Another way I really believe that you need to try to make more money is you need to do the digital marketing yourself. Do not hire a digital marketing company. I know people who are literally paying flat fees to digital marketing people to help them. They're paying $2,500, they're paying $3,500, they're paying $5,000. One flat fee, they set everything up for you. Boom, done. You need to be investing your money in creating better content. You need to have hire somebody to come help you make your commercials. There's this new guy and he's like flying drones through your haunted house, and he came here and shot a little bit. It was freaking sick. It was crazy. It was amazing. You need to be piling up content all year long and have your own content, and then getting your digital marketing managed by yourself. I will tell you, the only way you could ever be a really good haunter that makes a lot of money, or an escape room owner, is or family fun center, doesn't matter. If you understand every single aspect that it takes to be successful. You got to be able to manage people. You got to be able to add new attractions that people want to see. You got to have an attraction that people want to see. You have to be able to do digital marketing. You have to be able to do social media interaction. Okay. You need to be able to operate the attraction successfully. It needs to be safe. All these things, you don't have to be the one who does any of these things. You just need to know when they're not being done right, or what direction should you be taking on any of these fronts. Digital marketing is a big part of it. You should be understanding where your money is going and how to better spend it. I'm a firm believer, and this is the last point I'm going to make, is that if you can grow your social media, your following, you could literally market to these. This is the gold. The gold. It's like the gold is just sitting there. You don't have to pan for it. It's just sitting there. Pick it up. That is your social media followers. You should be focused on growing your social media. That will help you sell more tickets. And then it will also help you lower how much money you're spending. I don't believe to run a haunted house or even an escape room that you need a big old wide net out in the ocean, just trying to catch everything. Because like a lot of times in the ocean, they'll pick up sharks and all kinds of other stuff, and we're not catching sharks. So you might kill that shark, but they throw that big net out there and they try to catch whatever they can. I don't think that's the way to successfully market a haunted house or an escape room for that matter. I think you need to target the people who are the most interested. And how do you do that? Grow your social media, build up your email addresses and your phone numbers, and hey, I've really focused on building up our TikTok. Our Instagram is the one that I'm the most focused on, and it's paid off. It has paid off big league. And I want to go back to the pinball room. When we first did this room right here, there was like a shuffleboard table over here. There was a couple couches and stuff, and there might have been 2 pinball machines that didn't work. And you know what there is now? There's 19 pinball machines. And I just kept adding them and adding them and adding them. And you know what it is? It's like a whole nother attraction. So you know how many attractions there are? There's escape rooms, the mini golf is an attraction, and these pinball machines are an attraction. And once we introduce the fact that we can maybe do pinball tournaments and we can sell alcohol, we might be able to increase the revenue by just having these machines. These machines are like attractions because they're so expensive. And you're not going to go out and spend the kind of money that I did all in one day, but you just keep adding them. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy pinball machines. What I'm telling you to do is you got to think about your attractions as diversifying them, giving your customers more reasons to come see you than they would come to see the other escape room. Well, number one, we have better escape rooms than our competitors. Well, that helps. But you know what else we have? While you're sitting and waiting to go into your escape room, you could play pinball. You can get a wine. You can get a beer. You can play mini golf. People come just to play the mini golf, and then they book an escape room. People come to the escape room, I'd say, what the heck, let's play the mini golf. And it's the same thing with your haunted house. The more you change it and diversify, the better you're going to be. And whenever you're being an operator, knowing how to do the digital marketing yourself, or getting control over the ticketing and spending the time. And by the way, don't use Fear Ticket. I don't care. It's no skin off my nose. I'm telling you this information so that you can help yourself. But if you're a lazy business owner and you want to spend all your time building a new scene, painting walls, and getting a monster in there, and you're totally ignoring adding selfie stations where people can take pictures of the monsters, or adding a gift store or a retail store, or spending more time to make sure you have better t-shirts, better designs, something that people might actually want to buy, or figuring out how many more ways can I add something where people can take a picture or have that kind of experience. But I can tell you this, if you're not taking the time to learn the digital marketing yourself, I just found some pencils on the ground, and you're not taking the time to try to figure out how to do the digital marketing, or figuring out if you would make more money using a different ticketing company, you're committing business malpractice. Because this is the most important things. And you know what? The thing that got you into the haunted house business or the escape room business or whatever was the passion for it. You'll learn that if you start crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, you're going to get there a whole lot faster. So anyway, thanks for watching the channel. I hope that you hit the subscribe button. Not that we're making any money off of doing this, but that we do have a passion, or I should say, I've always had a passion for helping people and helping you learn quicker and learn from my mistakes. I can tell you honestly, I just had a birthday, and hardly anyone noticed, and I really don't celebrate my birthday anymore. But I just had a birthday, not happy about it, and so I keep a real low profile about my birthday. And so I personally think that if somebody came to me and said, would you sell everything? The answer would be yes. Why wouldn't I? Now, I don't have anybody lined up to come buy everything, but would I? Sure. Because I'll go do something else. Something that, interests me and gets me excited. Sure, why not? But at the end of the day, what excites me is to continue to grow the business and just see how much more successful you could be. And that's got to be your driver. Being successful for yourself, for your co-workers, for being able to retain people that you would like to keep, your family. You owe it to yourself to make sure you cross those T's and dot those I's. So, we're not making any money off this YouTube page, but we do have a passion for helping people, and we really do appreciate when you came out and supported the darkness, and we're just trying to give back, and we hope that you've gotten something out of these videos, and we will make more. Leave your comments below and tell us what kind of video, what would you like us to talk about. We can talk about anything you'd like. You know what the funny thing is? I think I'm most well known for detail and building attractions all over the world, or building cool things and stuff. But whenever I share information, it's always business related. So we never really do a lot of videos We made videos to sell to people. And by the way, I want to mention, if you want to see what that haunted house looked like, right here on this channel, we uploaded a video called How to Build a Haunted House from Scratch. And we showed you us building that attraction from scratch. And you can see where that building was in conjunction with this escape room space. So anyway, if you're interested in buying any of our used animations and props, let me know, info@scarefest.com. But follow the channel because we just want to reach more people and help more people and share experiences as we travel the country. Until then, everybody, happy hauntings.